As we grow older, we come to realize something profound. The importance of protecting our peace and energy becomes far greater than the obligation to be kind to everyone. In fact, there are certain people you should stop being kind to, no matter how much you've been taught to be gracious. Your time, your energy, your peace. These are treasures you should no longer give away without thought, especially when you've reached an age where your resources are finite. You may have always believed in kindness without limits, but as you age, you begin to see that kindness can sometimes be a trap. There are people who will drain you slowly, taking your patience, your generosity, and your silence without ever giving anything in return. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 types of people you should avoid, particularly in your later years. These aren't distant acquaintances or strangers, but people who might sit closest to you. Family, old friends, even neighbors. If you're not careful, their patterns of behavior can silently wear you down, robbing you of the serenity you deserve. By the end of this video, you'll understand who these people are, why their presence saps your energy, and how to protect your emotional health, without guilt or apology. You've worked hard for the peace you have, and now, it's time to safeguard it. Let's dive in. 1. The constant taker. We all know someone who only seems to reach out when they need something, right? It could be a favor, a ride, a little bit of your precious time, or even your emotional energy. Picture someone like Gloria, 71, who's always been the go-to person in her family. If someone needs last-minute babysitting, Gloria is called. If someone's going on vacation and needs a dog sitter, Gloria is the first choice. She's always there. But, when it was her turn to be cared for, something shifted. On her birthday, the phone stayed silent. When she was sick, not a soul offered help. It was then that Gloria realized she was always giving, but never receiving. We often feel guilty when we consider pulling back from such people, especially when they're family. We tell ourselves that being needed is a blessing, that saying no might make us selfish, or that next time, they'll see how much we do. But the truth is, if someone only values you when you're useful, they don't truly value you at all. The older you get, the more precious your time and energy become. You don't owe anyone your constant availability, and you have the right to say no, without explanation. If someone walks away because you stopped saying yes every time, it's not a loss. It's a sign that you were never truly loved. You were just convenient. In these years, every moment you give should enrich you, not drain you. Don't let kindness become a burden. 2. The chronic critic. We've all encountered that one person who constantly finds fault, whether it's with your choices, your appearance, or your past. They never shout or curse, but their words sting just as deeply. It's a quiet erosion of your confidence, delivered in small doses over time. Think of Raymond, 82, who visits his cousin every Sunday. Raymond brings fresh bread, checks on the house, and tries to stay connected. But every time he's there, his cousin finds something to criticize. His hair, his choice to sell an old chair, his tendency to take things too personally. At first, Raymond shrugged it off, thinking it was harmless. But after years of these visits, he started feeling smaller, questioning his choices more, and losing the joy he once felt just being with family. The danger isn't in the words themselves, but in the subtle erosion of your peace. People like this often mask their cruelty as concern, claiming they're just being honest, just trying to help. But what they're really doing is chipping away at your sense of self, bit by bit. You stop sharing your true feelings, you stop pursuing new things, and eventually, you start wondering whether you're good enough in their eyes. At this stage in life, you've earned the right to feel comfortable and safe in your own skin. You don't need to be perfect or constantly justify your choices. If someone always leaves you feeling small or inadequate, it's time to set some boundaries and step back. Your peace is far too valuable to be overshadowed by their negativity. 3. The guilt tripper. This person doesn't yell or argue. Instead, they twist every situation to make you feel guilty, making you question if you're doing enough, if you're good enough, if you've failed them somehow. These guilt trippers have a way of making you feel as though you're being selfish just for taking care of your own needs. Take Margaret, 79, for instance. She lives alone and tries to stay involved with her extended family. But when her niece calls, it's always to ask for a favor. And when Margaret has to say no, even kindly, she's met with guilt-laden comments like, "I thought family would be there for me." Guilt trippers know how to use your best qualities, your loyalty, your empathy, your sense of duty, against you. They make you feel like you're being cruel when you're simply setting boundaries for your own well-being. Over time, their manipulation becomes a pattern, and you find yourself apologizing, over-explaining, and giving more than you're comfortable with, just to avoid their cold silence or judgment. The truth is, you don't owe anyone your peace, and you don't have to explain every no. If someone can't love you unless you're constantly bending over backwards for them, that's not love, that's manipulation. Your heart isn't a doormat, and guilt should never be the price you pay for saying no. 4. The secret competitor. Some enemies are quiet, wearing smiles and offering kind words, all while harboring a hidden rivalry. These secret competitors don't just want to succeed, they want to ensure you don't shine as brightly as they do. Think of Helen, 76, who joined a local art class after years of putting her creativity on hold. She was nervous but proud of herself for taking that step. Her longtime friend Judy joined the class too, claiming she was there to support Helen. But week after week, Judy found subtle ways to undermine her. She'd say things like, "Your piece is interesting, very bold for your age," or "I love how carefree yours looks. I guess technique isn't everything." These comments, while seemingly innocent, chipped away at Helen's confidence, making her question whether she even belonged in the class. Secret competitors use comparisons like a sharp knife, quiet and hard to trace, but dangerous nonetheless. In older age, we don't need to compete with anyone. You've weathered too much, lost too much, and built too much to waste energy on unnecessary rivalry. If someone can't genuinely celebrate your wins or only competes with you to feel superior, it's time to step back. You deserve people who lift you up, not ones who make you feel smaller. 5. The passive-aggressive manipulator. These people don't raise their voice. They don't argue directly. Instead, they master the art of silence, sarcasm, and subtle digs. They're the passive-aggressive manipulators, and they can be especially exhausting in older age because their behavior can slide under the radar, leaving you questioning your own feelings and reactions. Consider Harold, 83, who has lived in the same neighborhood for decades. His neighbor Doug always smiles and waves, but when Harold asks for help with something small, like moving a planter, Doug delivers a sarcastic comment, "Guess you're finally slowing down, huh?" Or, "I'd offer, but I've got two knees that still work." This isn't outright refusal, it's a clever disguise for dismissiveness. And over time, it wears you down, making you feel unsure of whether you've been insulted or just ignored. Passive-aggressive manipulators thrive on avoiding responsibility for their actions, flipping the script whenever you try to confront them. At this stage of life, peace is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Anyone who disrupts that peace with emotional games doesn't belong in your circle. You don't need to respond to every slight or teach them how to treat you. Simply step back and reclaim the quiet they've been disturbing. Final thoughts. As you reflect on the 5 types of people discussed in this video, ask yourself, are any of them too close to your life? Are you offering your time, energy, and peace to people who only tear you down, or manipulate your good intentions? As you age, your peace becomes more valuable than ever. You've carried people, forgiven more than you should have, and kept quiet to avoid conflict. But now, it's time to clear out toxic patterns and protect your space. You deserve to surround yourself with people who truly see you, respect you, and bring peace to your life. Remember, being kind doesn't mean being available to everyone, especially when they drain you. It's about choosing compassion with boundaries and warmth with wisdom. If that means walking away from someone who's been in your life for years, so be it. Sometimes the greatest act of kindness is the one you give to yourself. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, and remember, your peace is priceless.